Hi, I'm Lita Leapins.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, Lita, here we are where we start a lot of our shows at the studio of our production partners, Hubcast Media here in Vancouver.
And we have a great packed show coming right at you, so it'll start right after this.
Our City Tonight has crossed the pond, well, over to beautiful North Vancouver. We're in the Shipyards District at Seaside Provisions. I'm here with Joey, and he's going to share the cocktails, the signature cocktails here at this beautiful place. I actually pulled the straw to get to do the cocktails, and Jim's going to be joining us later in for the food. But Joey, you guys have a great program here, a little bit more upscale than what people are expecting. Tell us what we have in front of us.
Yeah, well, Lita, thank you. This is a couple cocktails we're getting really famous for here in the Shipyards area. In front of you is called the Seashells by the seashore.
Oh my God, we're not
Try to say that 3 times in a row. But this is an amazing, amazing cocktail drink for patio or anytime dinner. And it does feature BC sparkling wine with some 2 different types of dry vermouth, with some house-made honey syrup and fresh citrus.
Oh, sounds
so
delicious.
Easy drink, as you can see, and visually stunning. And a classic, but one of my favorites as well is a bourbon sour. I think you are all familiar with that. Buffalo Trace bourbon, some egg whites, fresh citrus, and then topped with some Angostura bitters as well. Done the classic way in a nice coupe. Velvety to the touch and taste.
Well, I know our cameraman Mark loves bourbon sour, so I know after all the work's done, he's going to definitely have a sip of that.
You don't want to go to waste.
No, but you also, you've got a great beer collection here too, and it's not what you typically find. You guys are doing the local thing. Tell us about that as we...
For sure. I mean, you know, we have a very deliberate and you know, well-chosen beer program, we think, as well, supporting local craft breweries as well from Vancouver and North Vancouver, and featuring, for some lighter lagers and posters to some hazy IPAs, and then some rotating seasonal taps as well. So
beautiful. Well, fantastic collection, and just a gorgeous place. We're looking forward to going inside now and to trying some of your delicious food.
Perfect.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you.
You're looking at some of the video of one of my favorite songs of the 1980s, Romantic Traffic. It is by a bunch of, well then, high school kids from Burlington that formed a group called the Spoons. They went on to win Juno Award-winning Band of the Year in '83. Their music is timeless. It continues to gain more and more fans through other and younger generations. Which leads me to our next guest. I'm taking my broadcasting hat off and I'm going to put my fan hat on for a few seconds to welcome Gord Depp, frontman for the iconic band, The Spoons, who is coming to us from Oakville. Gord, welcome to Our City Tonight.
Oh, it's great to be back. I was born in Vancouver, you know, so any chance I could be there virtually is fine with me.
That's good to hear. You know, let's go back. It's your 40th anniversary, and you guys would be on tour right now if we're not in the middle of this COVID thing. Hopefully, you'll be back on tour next year. Let's go back 40 years and what you guys were doing when you guys come together as the Spoons. It's more of a you got more of a punk flavor, but then you go see Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark in Hamilton, and it changes the way you guys are going to present your music. And you go home and write your first huge hit single, Nova Heart. Talk about that.
That's right, because we were a little edgy, a little indie before all that, and then I saw those guys and said, that's why I want to be, because I always thought we could be something more grand and sophisticated in our styling, and that changed everything. And I'm not even a keyboard player. I just borrowed Rob, the keyboard player's keyboard, and so the first thing I played was da-da-da, da-da-da, without even thinking about it. And he said that was so stupid, it was perfect. So simple, I should say, not stupid. Well,
yeah, Great hook. I mean, the song was a massive, massive hit. Of course, you guys followed with a bunch of other hits. I got to ask you, though, back then, it was really, I know every generation says, well, this is different this time. Back in the early 80s, you all of a sudden had to worry about not only writing a good song, singing a good song, but you also had to worry about making like good videos. Because that just a couple of years earlier was not a requirement. You've always done some great videos. Talk about that new horizon of, oh, now we got to be on camera as well.
Well, luckily we were young and pretty back then, and if you didn't know, we were on the very first episode of Much Music with Romantic Traffic. That's how far back we go. And when it came time for this new album we just put out, New Day, New World, I thought, who even watches videos anymore? But I was wrong. We made 2 videos during quarantine that have gone on to be in over 40 film festivals around the world, from Cannes to Bollywood and Hollywood, and won about half of them. So videos still have power, you know?
I think they do. They're still out there, of course. Talk about, and you had some special guests in these videos that you did during the recent pandemic.
Yeah, well, they kind of message things, and we got about 60 people from Flock Seagulls and Wang Sean, Corey Hart, Glass Tiger, and then Degrassi High people, Curtis Josephs, Ed the Sock, if you remember Ed the Sock.
Yeah.
Anybody, and people from TV shows, and they all gave a message from home with a simple sign. I like Alan Frews is the "Don't forget me when I'm home," you know, something like that. So we all have messages, and it's first song called "New Day, New World." And how pathetic is that title? For an album that came out last year, but for the time that we're in right now. And we did one for the frontline workers, a song called "Landing Lights," which is the same thing. Both worth checking out. They have friends and family and celebrities in it, and messages that I hope will help people right now.
You know, speaking of helping people, Gord, we should say that, you know, as I mentioned, 40th anniversary, you clearly would be on tour right now. You're not, but you've been involved in doing some virtual concerts. I want to talk to you about this Back to the Basement, which really is great because it's benefiting frontline workers with meaningful support, and people most at risk in this pandemic are cared for regardless of politics, religion, or ability to pay. It's directrelief.org, and that's what this concert was about, which people can still see. Give us some information on that.
You can see it on YouTube and Facebook. The concert is called Back to Basement, but the website is called Abducted by the 80s, which is brilliant. Yeah, and we're the only Canadian band. Spoons, we were happy to represent Canada, but Flock Seagulls, Wang Chung, Naked Eyes, Escape Club, Animotion, the list goes on, and some great cameos by people from MTV. So it's a good thing to watch and see how people perform from home. Now, what we did was instead of just having the Zoom thing with the 4 boxes, we actually recorded in real time at Sandy's house, and each one of us in a different room of the house. I got the kitchen. You know, Sandy's in the dining room, the keyboard player's in the bedroom, so the camera kind of wanders around finding us in the house.
I'm very encouraged to hear that people like yourself are finding ways to get to your fans, because it is missed. Live music, concerts, and everything. So it's great that you're doing that. We should mention more information on the Spoons, spoonsmusic.com. If you've not heard their music, or if you were a big fan and your kids, get them to listen to it. Their music is timeless. I say that as a fan, but also as a former DJ and music critic. Gord Depp, thank you for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those old emotions.
We're back in North Vancouver at Seaside Provisions, and I got to enjoy some lovely cocktails out on the patio with Joey. Now we are here with executive chef Mark Greenfield, and look what's in front of us. Jim, oh my God, I know you're already drooling.
Well, you guys have stopped me from eating at least 8 times. Mark, we've worked with you many times before. It's great to be back with you on camera here at this wonderful, cozy spot. We want to talk happy hour, because you've got some great appetizers here, but a lot of this stuff people can get at happy hour. You guys really do have a spectacular happy hour. Tell our viewers who may not know.
I think we have the best happy hour in Vancouver, and definitely the best on the North Shore in Vancouver. We've got Buckashuck oysters, always featuring West Coast Pacific oysters, and a whole range of sustainable seafood options. Some of the favorites are lobster rolls and our tuna poke cigar.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about this? This looks spectacular.
Yeah, it's a really playful dish our chef de cuisine's created, but it's got a vegetable ash and it's meant to look just like a smoking cigar. Really lightly smoked ahi tuna inside. It's an amazing dish.
They're beautiful. They look like pieces of art and great prices.
Yeah, it's really designed to be friendly on the pocketbook. We're very cognizant of that in these times, and every drink on our menu is $5 during happy hour. You can get red, white, beer, a cocktail.
And bubbles.
And
yeah.
bubbles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, and you were talking, you've been around the restaurant scene a long time. You know, back 10, 15 years ago when we were allowed to have happy hours, you could just throw anything out. You know, here's some wings, here's everything fried, all that. That's not good enough anymore.
Exactly. Everybody's got happy hour now.
Yeah.
And everybody's got kind of the same happy hour. So we really, you know, hang our hats on doing something very different here. And, you know, great food as well as great prices.
Okay, Mark, we've gone from happy hour, appetizers, let's get to the main courses, and I probably will be digging in before you finish talking, so please don't take offense.
We're safe.
I can still do this.
Oh, amazing.
Anyway, talk about these great looking dishes.
Yeah, well, at Seaside Provisions, we really focus on sustainable seafood and providing the freshest, best selection on the North Shore. So always in season, we always have halibut. So both as our halibut entree here and as a kind of a playful fish and chips with our signature black batter. So it's done with activated charcoal. It's a little bit better for you, I'd say, than the typical fish and chips. But it's still a comfort food favorite.
And can I ask you just quickly, talk about what you've added here with the halibut, because I was asking about that earlier.
Yeah, so there's a really nice kind of light soy glaze on it. There's some macro kelp that's fried there, a little bit crispy and kind of light flavor of the ocean. We grilled broccolini. And then there's some prawn cakes. It's a fried prawn mousse. So it's a beautiful
Oh my God,
dish.
that is beautiful. And I know this is your favorite. This was sort of your creation. It's such an odd combination, but delicious.
My favorite combination of foods in the world is scallops and pork belly. So I've definitely had it on a lot of menus, and this is one of my favorite preparations by our chef de cuisine. So he's got seared scallops with a beautiful seared pork belly, and he actually has made an edible shell. So it's a scallop shell that he uses as a mold to hand bake his own scallop shells. You can eat the whole thing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And a vegetarian dish we should mention as well.
Yeah, it's actually completely vegan. So beautiful coconut tomato pasta with cashews. So it's great. You know, you can have anyone in from any dietary restrictions, and we always take care of them at Seaside.
You do. You've got a lot of gluten-free dishes as well.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Now, at the end, we remiss not to mention that beautiful feast
Yeah, this
over
is
there.
our Ocean Club. It's a great, we've actually had a great strong takeaway business through DoorDash, Uber Eats, all those kind of delivery partners.
Yep.
And we've had things on there like the fish and chips and the club sandwich that have been flying off the shelves.
And Mark, I wanted to mention you do breakfast, soon to be a brunch.
Yeah.
You do late afternoon.
Yeah, our happy hour is huge.
Yes.
You know, the Buckashuck, you need to kind of get here early if you want to get in on the happy hour action.
And
then
late night as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're a really good kind of cozy late night spot.
So we could
Wednesday through
basically
Sunday.
come in the morning and sort of stay all day and eat.
Absolutely. You know, and go and check out, you know, your hike on the North Shore Mountains and come back for a cocktail afterwards.
I enjoy the fact you're telling me think we're going to actually be doing some exercise in between meals. Hey, we've worked with you a number of times, and we should say that we're going to be back with you again coming up very soon on Our City Tonight. We're going to be back downtown where?
At Hydra.
Okay.
So recently taken over at Hydra Restaurant as well. And I think next month we'll be talking.
We will be there. We were there last summer when you first opened. We're going to return and see what's going on with Mark at Hydra. That'll be coming up in another episode of Our City Tonight very, very soon. Well, we moved over to a cozy little couch area with a fireplace to talk a little bit with GM Claire.
And Claire, you were saying that this is actually the hotel lobby. It's so beautiful. And you've got a lot of cozy places in this, in Seaside Provisions. First, tell us why it's called Seaside Provisions.
So with the Seaside Hotel, we've created a little bit of a lifestyle brand in itself. We have the Seaside Spa, Seaside Hotel, of course, and Seaside Provisions, which you've been sampling today. So a really nice little cozy area here is, in fact, the lobby of the Seaside Hotel.
Claire, we've been asking everybody that we've been filming with food-wise over the last couple months, and that is precautions, safety. We're very lucky that we're into the latter stages of stage 3, but we can't get complacent. Talk about what you're doing for your guests.
For all of our restaurants, it really has been safety key, but welcoming everyone into a comfortable environment where we can still wine and dine you, but the safety precautions are there. So the pillars of our safety plan, very much distancing, and of course sanitation of absolutely everything, and very much so communication, to communicate with the guests of what we have in place so that you can sit back and relax in that safe environment and have a little fun. We all need it.
Definitely, this North Shore location is going to be a great staycation for so many people coming into Christmas time when people can't necessarily travel. Gorgeous boutique hotel, 71 rooms, just absolutely beautiful.
Exactly, and it's a great place to take that vacation that you've been wanting to take. Come and have it here with us. Enjoy the hotel and the provisions.
We should end with seeing if you and Mark can actually distance Lita and I from the food. I don't think that's going to happen. See what we did there? Okay, thank you, Claire.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming, guys.
Oh, such a pleasure.
Well, what you're looking at is a brand new channel that is coming to Canadian viewers. It's called Museum TV. The channel covers fine art, classic, modern, contemporary, but also street art, comics, digital art, photography, video art, architecture, design, factual entertainment. It's Museum TV, and we are very excited about this channel coming to our airwaves. We're also excited to have our next guest on the show. She is calling in via Skype from France, where it is late evening. We want to welcome the Senior Vice President of Museum TV. She is also the Managing Director for MyZen TV. It's Nella Pavliskova, and we welcome her all the way from France. Hello, and welcome to our city tonight, Nella.
Hello. Hello from France. Good morning, good evening, whatever.
It's great to have you. We'll say bonjour. This is really exciting. I was saying to you before we went on camera that with travel being at a really, really limited basis, and a lot of people not getting the chance to go to museums, even in their own city, this seems perfectly timed. Tell our viewers all about Museum TV.
Yes, so Museum TV, it's a channel which is designed for art lovers, but as well for people who are just looking for a new type of entertainment in a TV. So it's a channel about art, about visual art, and it's a very original and unique proposal, proposing entertainment, information, stories about all different disciplines from art. So you will find programs about history of art, documentaries. You can travel with museum across different exhibitions and museums worldwide. We will propose to you as well a private visits of museums, so it's as if you were visiting a gallery or a museum from your living room, and you will as well find different new formats of art, such as street art, digital art, images, photographers and photos. So this is very original and unique, and the majority of our programs have been produced by ourselves, basically in a ultra HD definition. So the image, it's very beautiful, and as well the editorial proposal, it's original because it's designed by ourselves. So the majority, it's our special production for TV viewers with this promise of being entertaining and original.
I love the fact that, as I mentioned in the opening, that there's such a diversification, as you alluded to, enough there too to get the younger generation, the kids into it. Can you talk briefly about the reaction from viewers who have been watching this channel in France and other parts of the world?
So, as I said, the art lovers love this channel because it's a first channel dedicated to visual art. So they will find all the art disciplines, information, documentaries, the general overview, what is happening in art scene in the world. They can visit the artist workshops, they can discover the behind of scenes of an exhibition. And as well, the TV viewers who are used to watch other content, they find this proposal very unique and original, so they can enjoy non-scripted shows about art. As you mentioned, kids and families as well can find different programs, how to learn painting, drawing, how to do it yourself, your art masterpiece. So the welcome in France and as well in other international markets is very good, and this is why we now are arriving in Canada, which is a very mature market, and we hope that we will find as many passionate viewers of museum as in other parts of the world.
You know, that's great you mentioned the kids, because I don't know how things are in France, but around here we're doing better with what's been happening this year. But a lot of kids may not be going to camp this summer, so if parents can find things to keep their kids active and learning, that's nothing but a good thing. We appreciate that. It is Museum TV. Our viewers here in Canada, check with your TV provider to find out how you can get it. It's available now. Nella Postolakova, you were with us. We appreciate you staying up late in France, although 10 p.m. is not that late in France. But thank you for joining us, and the best of luck with Museum TV. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, and enjoy Museum TV on TELUS.
Thank you. Merci.
This segment of Live Debt Free is brought to you by Debtco.ca, helping Canadians get out of debt based on ability.
We're here with Chris Smith, the founder of Debtco.ca. Chris, you've been with us before. You're our expert in debt restructuring, and debt has many faces. We've covered a few topics for those that have watched the show with you on it. We're going to cover auto financing, and I guess people can get a lot of trouble with car financing and getting behind in their payments. Can you talk a little bit about this particular topic?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, as you know, I spent 13 years in the auto finance business, working for a chartered bank and a private lender, and I think I originated about $500 million in loans.
Wow.
That ranged anywhere from like a 299% wise to a 399% and everything in between. So I've seen a lot, and I think I can speak to this for sure. This will be interesting.
Definitely. So the pandemic has hit us. Cars are important. It's getting us to work. It's picking up kids. It's all that stuff. People are kind of lost without a vehicle. Has the pandemic really put people in a bad place?
Of course. So if you look at Canada, there are about $75 million in car loans sitting on the books of the various finance sources right now. And to make a long story short, the default rates are rising with the pandemic and with some other reasons. And it looks like by the end of the year, it's projected that we're going to have about 100,000 car loans that are 90 days plus in arrears.
Oh, wow.
Which is a challenge. So certainly the pandemic, yes, but also something called negative equity. That is an ongoing issue that just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I think the average Canadian has about $7,000 of negative equity in their car loan. And interesting, I sat down with a single mom on disability with 4 kids that was making $950 car payments 3 months ago on a $66,000 car loan. She was trying to make $950 car payments. The math didn't work, couldn't do it. And we sat down and looked at that situation, and that vehicle was essentially worth about $36,000. So
ooh, that's not good math.
Oh, she's sideways $30,000. That negative equity is out there. What happens is people will get into a car loan and they'll get back into the dealership. Maybe they want to change their car. Maybe they crashed their car. Whatever it was, they're back replacing their vehicle before it's been paid for, and they're carrying some negative equity from a previous loan over to the new loan. Do that 2 or 3 times, and suddenly you're potentially sideways.
Which leads me into my next question. What happens when you can't pay?
Yeah, when you can't pay, interesting times. I've certainly been there. And, when I was 22 or 23 years old, I had this new Jeep that I had financed. I paid my $418 a month for a year or two, and then ran into some challenges, couldn't pay it, and lo and behold, they repossessed the vehicle and sold it at auction for $4,400. I think I owed $18,000 on it. So that ultimately, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They take the car.
So what do you do when the math doesn't work and that situation? There are options, right?
There's certainly options. Yeah, you know, right now there's some latitude out there with deferrals, so I think that helps. You know, certainly talk to your banker and find out if there's something that they can do there. You could perhaps trade your vehicle in and get into a lower priced vehicle. Perhaps you can, you know, consolidate for some lower interest rate. Banks typically don't like to refinance that specific loan, but they may look at a different vehicle through a dealership and a new piece of financing.
And Detco.ca has experience with dealing with this. You have successes, so share a little bit on a positive note as we end this.
Absolutely. You know, we've sat with a lot of people, and the challenges are not always just the car loan. It may be credit cards and all kinds of things. That's part of the picture, so we sit down and give them some options. But, you know, ultimately, if you're facing a repossession and you just can't afford the car and the math doesn't work to get out of it, there's something in British Columbia called Caesar sue. That's legislation, meaning I'm the bank, I've lent you money for your car, I have to decide whether I'm going to seize the car or repossess the car or sue you. Yeah. And if I repossess the car from you, in most cases you're going to be out of the rest of that loan and the shortfall. Yeah. Whereas if I sue you, maybe I'm going after your house and some other things. But dear. You know, when the bailiffs are involved and you know, they're just doing their jobs, they come to have that car picked up. They are probably trying to get you to sign something called a voluntary surrender agreement. And if you unknowingly sign that, you could very well be paying that shortfall as well.
Wow. Well, it's important to have experts like you guiding the way of being able to live debt-free, which is the ultimate goal. So thank you, Chris. Chris Smith, founder of Detco.ca, living debt-free. Thanks.
Thank you.
This segment of Live Debt Free was brought to you by Detco.ca, helping Canadians get out of debt based on ability.
Well, we're back here at Hubcast Studios, the home of our production partners, and it's the end of the show.
That's right. Before we leave those, we always do, I'd like to remind you to check us out online, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also check out past episodes on YouTube. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
We'll see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
The Inside Real Estate segment is always brought to you by the Ballard 360 team from RE/MAX Masters Realty. Mark and Kaylee bring sage wisdom and youthful energy to all their customers' real estate needs. This segment of Live Debt Free was brought to you by Detco.ca, helping Canadians get out of debt based on ability. Outdoor wear for Jim and Lita provided by Helly Hansen, alive since 1877.
Youngblood Mineral Cosmetics provided by Soluzione Spa Products.